But being in sync all through the week. What's going on? How are you doing, Nima?
Still close. I'm fine.
Okay. I take that back. We are all colorful.
Exactly. Except in the Nima that is single tone. We are multicolored.
How you
Family
doing?
of Joseph. I was not in the mood to find clothes, so just to cut
the easiest.
Throw it together and go. What was my banter?
How are my children?
The children, they are fine. These holidays have been a lot of work. My firm is really suffering because I have to balance being available as a mom with all the work, and but I'm grateful we're putting things together. I'm very grateful to God. And I'm also grateful to Godwin because I got a full tank. Thank you, Godwin. I hope you're watching. God bless you. God fuel. That was another additional problem. I bought $8.50 per liter on Monday. I did not find it funny. And I had to still queue. I still was number 8 on the queue to buy at $8.50, but I was able to talk to my friend yesterday and they showed up. So thank you, Godwin. Yeah.
I was telling some people in the makeup room that when you are saying you want 3 children, 4 children, it is when you start doing homework, when you're not just doing school runs, having to pay attention to
having to be available
quality time to each of them. That's when you realize having 3, 4 is a whole lot. Our parents will get away with it. Now you have school projects, each child with each of their projects.
We self-taught ourselves.
Now I'm doing homework. I'm following up with, have you done your homework? Have you done your homework? I'm like,
there was a time I called the teacher in the school and I told her that please give my child homework. Don't give me homework. I'm done with school. Because the homework is just too much.
It's an adult work.
I'm telling you. I said, give my child homework. Don't give me. I'm done with school. Just concentrate on the child. Give them the homework that they can do.
You have brought my oil today, right?
Yes, I did. I brought your oil for you.
How's business?
And the business is picking up. It's just that in the north over there, the queues are very, very long. And in fact, there's no petrol and the price is very high. I always get so many text messages, calls. We don't have food, give me something, even if it's as small as 2,000, 3,000. It's just tiring. I'm just wondering when this whole hardship and this thing is going to
subside or end, if possibly.
That's all I get now. Text messages, calls. Please, Dan Allah, Bani Kaza, give me this amount. Even if it is as small as 1,000, 2,000, let me just buy something. Corn that used to be very cheap, now it's so expensive.
We're hoping that with the waiver they've done, it would trickle down to the price.
Down just with 1%. It's not really doing much.
As well. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
When you finish your makeup, you look like you have all the money they are looking for is in your pocket. Please, you and I, we are in the same boat. We want to have all the money they are looking for.
I'm telling you. But today is a good day for me because it's my Ekwe day. My toddler is 2 today.
Wow.
Yes, and it just took me back in time to remember how I carried this pregnancy all through. I was working all through. In fact, I went to do an MC job the day before I put to bed, on a Sunday before I put to bed on a Monday. And when the celebrant saw me, she was like, Dami, why? What are you doing here? I said, I need this money. If I had told you that this stomach was this big, you wouldn't let me come.
Exactly.
So I told her, I said, see, you know what? The only thing is that the water can break even in this event because I do not know. I was about 40 weeks already because I'm always having that late term, both the first and the second. So it's a good day for me. And during the week, on Tuesday, I took my first to boarding school for his interview all the way in Ibadan. So I joined Rama because I bought 1,000 naira per liter just on the express road, and I could just only buy 40 liters. They were not selling even be above a certain number so that they could go round. And my baby was very cranky. He was looking gloomy, and I was asking him what's wrong. He said, I'm tired. I said, it's not my fault. It's Nigeria's fault. Sorry for me born in you this country, but anyway. So this week has been for my children, and it's quite resonating with me because the only thing we really want to do aside from work is also to raise your family and to put that quality time for them. So one is in Ibadan and I'm doing a quick one more today.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Whenever I
welcome on board.
Delivery and all of that, I'm like, hey Lord, anybody else that is waiting, point of contact to so that they also answer. They too will celebrate their own echo more by the grace of God. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll take the top stories in the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're starting our front page review with The Nation as usual, and major headline: fresh inflow triples foreign investors' portfolio to 598 billion naira. Total transaction in the Nigerian Stock Exchange rose from 2.15 trillion naira to 3.1 trillion naira in 1 year. Of course, you can't miss the picture of the Oniru of Iruland. Oba Iruland. The Oniru of Iruland, Oba Abdul Wasiu Lawal, is in the middle dancing, and some other indigenous dancing at the Isheshe Day celebration in Lagos yesterday. Passport fees rise to 100,000 and 50,000. Applicants abroad are not affected. Nigerians to pay more for passports. Moving on to other stories. Plot to remove Damagum deepens PDP crisis. 220 illegal refineries found in 1 week. Vandalized pipelines also. Why airports are performing below capacity by FAN. Minister our plans for National Youth Dialogue, and scheme to eliminate trade bottleneck rolls out. What story are we starting with?
Okay, may I just start with the NNPC's discovery that they revealed on their X handle or Twitter handle. I will stay with Twitter. X is difficult to pronounce for me. And so they posted a documentary titled War on Crude Oil Theft on their X Twitter handle. And they said in the past 1 week, they have uncovered 220 illegal refineries in Bayelsa, Rivers, Delta, Abia states, and several other areas. And they said between August 10 and 16, 416 cases by several incidences, sources by Tantita Security Service. You know, the one they have a partnership with, that is that belongs to Tompola, I think. And they have discovered, you know, those refineries between Tantita Security Service, Nigeria Adip Oil Company, Command and Control Center, and government security agencies. Also, they have 33 suspects already arrested. And I'm reading through the story to see how we're going to turn this positive. Did not see.
The challenge for me is the 33 suspects arrested are the small fries. There are people that finance these transactions that we're not dealing with, and they will keep on.
Crude oil theft is a major issue. If you do not have crude oil theft, you have pipeline vandalism, where the processed products coming from the refineries do not even get to destination. We have the problem of, you know, pipeline explosions by, you know, some uncontrolled explosives that they use. We have too many risks. So there's a way we can manage it and localize our solution. Because these people are in the creeks. Can we turn this positive? Right now, there are mad queues on our expressways. Is there a way?
They do petrol, they do diesel, Nima.
They do kerosene as well.
They do kerosene.
But, you know, can we turn this around? They can do petrol.
How can it work for us inwardly?
Can we turn it around?
All right.
Okay, I have the Tinubu working tirelessly to alleviate suffering, says Barau, and that caught my attention in the Nation newspaper. And it says that Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin has said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to working tirelessly to alleviate the suffering of the masses. He noted that the Northwest Development Commission, NWDC, which the president approved recently, would address the infrastructure gaps in the 7 states in the Northwest. It says President Tinubu on July 23rd signed the NWDC establishment, and in a statement yesterday in Abuja by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ismail Mudashiru, the Deputy Senate President said the 7 states in the Northwest would witness rapid infrastructural development through the Development Commission. So he's imploring the Northwest indigenes that they should support the government and the government of the day so that things can move rapidly.
All right, so
I have the Nigerian airports performing below capacity, says the fan boss. They said the managing director of the Federal Airports Authority, Mrs. Olubumi Kuku, has described the majority of airports across the country as performing below capacity, despite huge funds allocated to the facilities. She also said that the authority is now thinking out of the box on sustainable models on how to manage the 20 airports available. She also said that it was time Nigeria embraced different models for effective airport management. She said some of these models are joint ventures, management contracts, and concessions. And she said that she noted that some groups were opposed to concession and private sector participation as a result of fear of the unknown. But she came out and she said that there will be legal frameworks, and they're going to do it in a proper way such that the people that will invest privately will also get something and be happy that they did. So let's see how this pans out.
All right, so we'll move on to the Punch. Major headline, PDP chair Wike tackles Clark as anti-Fubara plot thickens. In other news, we have the story of Togo Benin owing Nigeria $14 million for electricity. That's from the NERC, that's Nigeria Electronic Regulatory Commission. He hailing cabs, the drivers reject fare slash and they threatened strike. Federal government working to avert impending ASU strike. That's from the ministry. Federal government hike the cost of passport fees to 50,000 and 100,000. Government also planned fresh $100 billion investment. Dangote refinery reduces crude imports from US. APC receives PDP, Labour Party, ADC defectors in Edo, and Obaseki approves payment of local government pensioners gratuity. So, what story are we taking here? Can we now discuss this passport?
Yes, so I have the story. Okay. They said the federal government hikes passport fees to 50,000 and 100,000. They said as part of its efforts to maintain the quality and integrity of the Nigerian standard passport, the federal government has approved an upward review of the fees for the passport. And I'm thinking that is this the right time for us to be increasing with all the things going on?
With all the things going on. Abi? So I
from
cannot even defend,
35,000,
even though it would affect people I know, I can't defend this one. Or rather, they can increase if this is important. We don't want subsidy on passports. It's people that can afford it that want to buy passport. But let's put subsidy on the things that are really crucial, and there are many of them right now.
So can I go with the Togo story?
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so according to the NERC, none of the 4 international bilateral customers being supplied from our power generation companies have made payments against the cumulative invoice of $14.19 million issued by the market operator for services rendered in the first quarter. They named the companies. The NERC says the report cited by Punch correspondence shows that the foreign companies are Para SBE in Benin Republic, that is owing about $3.15 million. Transcorp SBE in Benin Republic is also owing $4.46 million. Mainstream and Nigelec in Togo is owing $1.21 million, and Odukpani CET in Togo is owing $5.36 million, a total of the amount which is $14.19 million. And they said that no remittances was also made by bilateral customers within the country against the cumulative invoice of 1.86 million naira issued to them by the market operators for services. And they noted that the customers, both local and international, made payments during the quarter for outstanding market operator invoices in previous quarters, but recently they've not. A cumulative of 5.96 million was paid by 2 international customers. Similarly, the market operators received 505.71 million naira for 8 local bilateral customers. So we have some money that is due to us, but we have some locally also due, and some already
people are owing us money.
They are owing us money.
Let's take a break now. When we return, we'll continue with Front Page Review. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Ambition.
My G. For our ambition, we go hard.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, And the lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're continuing with front page review, and Ramatu wanted to finish off the story about passports.
Yeah, so they said based on the review, a 32-page passport booklet with 5-year validity previously charged at 35,000 will now be 50,000, while a 64-page passport booklet with 10 years validity, which was 70,000, will be 100,000. That's what he said. They also said that that he regretted any inconveniences this increase might cause prospective applicants. It assured Nigerians of unwavering commitment to transparency and quality service delivery at all times.
All right. So I want to take the e-hailing cab driver story. So, apparently they have an association. Let me read out the association. Amalgamated Union of App-based Transporters of Nigeria have rejected the reduction arrangement announcement that was made by a few app companies and the Presidential Committee on Natural Gas Initiative. This association represents 300,000 drivers nationwide, 120,000 drivers in Lagos State, and the state chairman, Jayesimi Aziz, gave an interview to Punch Metro on Wednesday and claimed that they are not involved in the discussion, that it came to their knowledge via an announcement that they would be slashing prices for people that use their services by the Presidential Committee on Natural Gas Initiative in Abuja when they met, and they were not informed. They said our members who own the vehicles and interfere directly with riders are the backbone of this industry, and they believe that they should be carried along in such a crucial decision being made. They said they are not going to be a party to this. They do not support any unilateral fare reduction whose impact on the operation of the vehicles and livelihood of the members have not been carefully considered. The union has urged the government through the PCNG to provide the complete conversion kit and associated installation cost for them. That is upon when they've gone through this part of the transaction that they can then start giving price reduction to riders. I feel the cost of alien, if you use all those app people now, what you will see in your app, the price will scare you to say, do I really want to go out again? So we move on to Daily Sun. Major headline, Wike dares PDP, I'm ready for war, brands Wabara on fit for BOT chair. In other news, ESUT sacks 6 senior staff for forgery, corruption. NAF airstrike kills 5 terrorist commanders, 35 fighters in Borno. That's from the official report. FCT authorities dismantle Pack and Play, condemns 20% consultant versus federal government sharing formula. Nigeria, US partner on AI for military operations. Federal government needs $100 billion yearly to achieve GDP of over 33,000, says Baguda. Ondo women protest over hardship. Uzodinma bags Michael Okpara's Good Governance Award, gets accolade. Enugu demolishes kidnappers' houses. And ASU insists on strike, warns federal government stakeholders about disruption of academic calendar. So what story are we starting with?
I like the one for the accountability. The ETSUT sacks six senior staff for forgery, corruption. The management of Enugu State University of Science and Technology, ETSUT, has sacked 6 senior staffs of the institution for alleged criminal offences bordering on forgery and corruption. The Vice Chancellor of ETSUT, Professor Aloysius Michaels Okoli, at the press briefing yesterday, on the outcome of the just held governing council meeting, Okoli also disclosed that another staff member who was on suspension for disseminating false information was recalled, but that she would forfeit her salary, half salary, for the period of the suspension. He also explained that the the action was in furtherance to the institution's bid to enthrone ethical values and ensure probity among staff and at all levels, stressing that there was no room for corruption and delegation of duty and fraudulent practices amongst the employees. And this one, in the total submission, it shows us that if we begin to seek accountability where accountability should be, maybe it will help the nation at large for everyone to know that once you do wrong, the hands of the law will be caught up by you, or you'll catch up with you, rather. So at least in all spheres, let us know that we come to the table clean.
Yeah, so I have the Ondo hardship, just like what my banter this morning. They said they all came out with their placards, and some of them, they are widows, mostly widows, and some of them had their babies at their back. They said the economic situation is hard. They can't even afford food. They can't afford food, and they can't even pay school fees for their kids. So they are even begging and asking the government to please look into this hardship. Just like the way I'm getting so many calls and messages. So they are pleading with
schools. We might even advise governors, maybe they can waive payments of school fees for public schools. Maybe that would ease a bit of this challenge. Nima, do you have any story here?
Okay, should I go on with the Enugu demolition? So the Enugu state government on Wednesday yesterday demolished properties used by kidnappers for keeping victims in the outskirts of the state, and the properties were mostly uncompleted buildings. In fact, this particular one had underground tunnel. It was a story building with an underground tunnel in the Okwabo layout in Emenenike, where they also found a large cache of arms and ammunition, and they recovered a large, cache of arms and ammunition. They also were able to discover a large farmhouse. They fronted with it, a poultry, piggery, and plantation somewhere around the Obeke Nike. All around the Enugu East local government areas where they used to, to keep hostages, kidnappers as hostages. The operatives were following months on months of investigation, and they discreetly investigated and found this out. And the government decided to demolish such buildings. Take it over.
All right, moving on to Nigerian Tribune. Major headline, Rivers crisis. Anybody took that story? Namago opens up on controversial letter to appeal court. In other news, Nigeria needs new mapping to address insecurity. That's from surveyors. Alleged drug purchase scandal. Kwakwanso, Algon chairman, permanent secretary arrested. Then, Enugu government demolishes kidnappers. Then Nima took that story already. Withdraw invitation to Ajero, opposition lawmakers tell police. And 500 million domestic bond. Investors' right to asset fund protected under law. Okay.
I have the Nigerian needs new mapping to address insecurity from surveyors. The Nigerian Institute of Surveyors, NIS, has called for new mapping of the country to address insecurity. According to the news agency of Nigeria, NAN, the NIS president, Dr. Matthew Ibitoye, made the call at the 4th NIS Lasses Ali Memorial Lecture on Tuesday in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. Ibitoye said that the mapping in the country were done since 1965 and were obsolete and could not meet the present realities. Ibitoye also said that urgent action must be taken to produce new maps with modern technologies for the country's security and for the country to win the war against insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, and other crimes. So I think that even with this one for me, few days back that I took my son to Ibadan, even Google Map, I mean, I was supposed to be going to Iwo area as if I'm going to Oyo State, Iwo town. And Google Map was taking me to Akpata. And I actually got to Akpata. Then I had to ask because the map said Yanofa. So I was asking. I went to secondary school in Akpata, so I knew that Nigerian Air Force School was not around that Asli. So I had to travel another 39 minutes back to Iwo Road before I now aligned with my journey. So if the surveyors too are saying that,
so yes, they've been complaining about this for a while.
Do you understand? So it's been going incessantly. So when are we really going to change it? Google Map will see canal like this, will say keep going, keep moving.
Seriously?
I'm telling you, it's happened to me twice.
Several times.
Moving on to Vanguard, our last paper for today. Petrol scarcity worsens as marketers load at 780 naira per litre. That is worrisome. Fake certificates. Uganda, Kenya rights jam. Demand students verification. Federal government criminalizes vandalism of telecom facilities in new gazette. Nigeria made Dangote a colossus. It must now handle him wisely. Federal government increased passport fee. We're taking that. Food inflation reducing. We'll reduce it further. That's according to the finance minister. And police invitation to Ajero More Critical Union gives strike notice. So what are we taking in?
Okay, so I have the story of the food inflation reducing. We'll sustain it. The minister said the food inflation in particular, as we know it, has started coming down. Overall inflation has started coming down. First of all, it slowed. And now at 33%, it is 1% lower than it was last month. And we are planning on maintaining that downward flow. He said overall reduction in food inflation and more availability of food at affordable prices is the goal of the administration in the immediate term. I don't know if with the petrol increase now, because they are saying 780 per litre, but
no.
I bought at 1,000.
No, 780, that's my story. The petrol is being taken from private depot at 780. What it used to be taken for was 595 per litre. Wow. So from the depot points, the price has increased by 31%. So it is impossible to buy petrol at the same price as before over the next few months.
Now it's now 1,000. It's now 1,000. So in my area, I bought a litre at 1,100. So how is food inflation now coming down when the price of petrol has gone up?
Yeah, they say they're selling for as high as
so it's still very low. They need to do more
per litre. I don't think it is what making the headline and we celebrating about the fact that the statistics is showing 1% reduction when in reality everything is still very just as difficult for many people. Well, that's all we can take on Front Page Review for today. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
As the morning light filters in, the Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
We bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you seize your day one step at a time.
On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back to back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment. Only a Max Hits.
Area, waiting the apple, waiting the shop. You need to award-winning waiting the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a Max Doing.
You know what it is. It's the Max House Party. King Dion, DJ Charlie Shee. Let's go.
102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Entertainment for me, first of all, I say it's a vocation. It's work for me. It's a way of life that brings about merriment, relaxation, and it's happiness. It's everything good put together. Anything at all just to make you happy, give you joy, make you laugh, make you dance. Entertainment is a way of life for AY.
Entertainment to me is everything. Entertainment is surrounding myself with loved ones, family, watching some good television shows, TV series, listening to good music, and taking a trip around the world, seeing new places and interacting with different people, and also having a feel of different culture and people all around the world. So for me, I would say entertainment is life. It's larger than life.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Gbenga Adeyinka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Gbenga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the questions.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for Inter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this. Because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? I think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking, because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
Staying with us. So the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has stated that, let me get their statement very clearly. The head of NAPTIP in Oyo State, Mr. Augustine Akanya, made the declaration on Wednesday, August 21st in Ibadan that he was speaking at a town hall meeting organized by Adinya Arise Foundation, and he said that the challenges of trafficking is being compounded by mothers who are involved in majority of the human trafficking cases that he has treated within the state. He said that the role of parenting in human trafficking is enormous, and he advised that parents are playing major role. He said that it has become a cause of concern that many parents borrow money from financial institutions to support their children to travel. They are encouraging parents not to allow human trafficking in the state anymore. If you want to travel, go through the necessary documents and travel safely. But looking at this story, you cannot help but link it with the fact that some parents have seen their children as their source of livelihood. So that's why a parent would want to make the investments to ensure that the child gets into a better country, or a country where they can be able to make money to send back home. Nima, I know you've taken a few stories of relocation gone wrong. I remember a few years back, we were always talking about how people would say they're going to go and work in Saudi Arabia. There was another all these Middle Eastern countries where they would,
Libya, Oman,
they would say they are going under a different guise. And then the next thing you find out is their passport will be seized. It is actually sexual exploitation, sometimes even organ harvesting. And to now find that parents are actually complicit in this happening, and it's not just a thing of one particular region. We're hearing it concerning Oyo State. What's your opinion?
It's always been Oyo. Oyo is not.
It's not new.
It's not new. Oyo has been as old as time, and they believe in Oyo and Kwara that it's a unique Larubawa country. It's abroad. It's emancipation. They believe that because the Arabic language is the language of Islam, that their children are going to see people closer to God. But they get to Oman, they don't find human rights laws existing for foreigners. They get over there, they have no embassy to run to. They get there and they are, they're not just trafficked, they are sold on a website, registered website. It is legit, they do those things there. It takes the help of God for you to get out. Even in Dubai where they have, some kind of laws. They have those websites existing. The stories have come out from, abuses in Dubai. In Saudi Arabia, their stories have come out. So I've always said, relocating it is with knowledge that you will relocate. It's not every country that they use passport and plane to get to. That's abroad. People have, distorted things. And we used to hear of, the Benin, Italy, the Calabar, Italy, all of those things, and think that such did not exist. The one in Oyo and Kwara has been, and Osun has been as old as time.
Because they're not going to Italy, doesn't mean it's not happening.
Exactly. After a while, they don't hear from the relative. All of them just sit down. You see the girls do videos secretly of their abuses. And a friend of mine was a medical doctor in Saudi, and he was recounting how many black girls were abused. There was one with full fire-borne wounds all over her, dumped in the front of the hospital for help, and nobody claimed, no investigation followed. We'll have stories coming out from these countries of, people being pushed off buildings. You are working in a high-rise building as a maid, and your guy vex, he throw you down. Yes,
Wow.
So yes, and we see our government doing as much as they can to inform our people of how dangerous it is to, to migrate to certain places. We come around and abuse them, that is the country good, and you're telling me to not go, as if it is better to go to fall inside fire than, to stay in the fry pan. I don't get it. You're choosing, you're saying no, when you're frustrated, you come out, you shout at government, and then you dare the devil. A friend, I did assist someone back from Libya in the past, and he sold his bakery. So you have a business.
Sold his bakery
Go to Libya. And it was not about government. He had competition. So somebody had more money and invested in another bakery near his own, or a bigger one. Size. But by this time, you had your logistics in place. It's just that your place was not as big. And so you thought, okay, if I go and earn foreign currency, I'll have the kind of money he has to expand. Rather than do the expansion, you know what's funny? When we now get there, we wait to. Businesses don't actually grow as we think, as rapidly as so we wait, we build, we save, and to give the money quick value, what you earn there, you don't really invest there. If you want to think about it, you bring it back home, because it will have value here, and you compare the naira to it, and then you now come and use it to do the big investment back home. So really, what are we saying? Are we really thinking through these things, and the consequences that our people go through? What breaks my heart the most? I've stopped consuming certain things because of my mental health. So before, it used to be popping up. The agencies where people are allowed the WhatsApp, I used to, and then I say, nobody will vex me at home, I'll just be vexed. I'll be in a place.
Carrying that matter. She was carrying that matter on her head. So almost every day on the show, she was always coming to talk about it.
It wasn't healthy anymore. So these days, you can send me a WhatsApp as concerned as, I've read it, but I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to feed it. I'm not in the place for it at the time, so I won't even look at it. Reason is because I need to help my emotions
to be okay before you can help another person get okay. I want to ask you concerning the involvement of parents. Because as a mother, you would be wondering, your job is to protect. So why would mothers traffic their children?
That's what I'm saying, is that the government, we shouldn't blame the government totally. The mothers that even permit these kids to go on this kind of journey, knowing fully well, because I know most of the time they educate them, they tell them how these things run and all of that. I know that sometimes some mothers, they have friends who their daughters have already gone, and the daughters are already sending, money and everything, and those ones will be like, this is what my daughter did and all. So they will encourage their daughters to go and, for things like that. My worry is that where the government needs to play is these girls, they go to do passport for them. Most times, these girls are underage girls. When they do passport, is it that the government is not looking, taking note of all of those things, number one. Then number two, they pass through immigrations before they get on the plane. So are we trying to say that
sometimes they don't go through plane? These are not plane people. How do they go on the
go by road?
They go by road.
Most of them is by road.
Then they take off from another country.
No, they
go by road.
That's illegal.
It's a life. There's a very high percentage of them dying on this journey. The states that this head of NAPTIP in Oyo State mentioned the countries where they've been having reports, because they brought back some girls: Lebanon, Oman, Libya, and other Middle Eastern countries. They said that Nigeria does not even have an embassy in Oman, and so there is no way you can get any form of reprieve if you find yourself stuck in that country and something bad happens to you. And yet mothers in Oyo are borrowing money to send their children on a journey that might not have return. That's why we're discussing it now.
It's a bad talk with laughter, like I always say. You understand? When God gives you a Oroburuku, you still shocking with laughter. Because I just think that a lot of parents do not value the children they have. And it starts with the realization that it's a kind of terrain, it's a kind of tradition that I think they impose on you to give birth. I think you are being cajoled. If it's not directly imposition, you are being cajoled, you are being coerced. That, your mates are giving birth. How do you even know somebody that really wants to have a child? It starts from there. It starts from that education of until we realize that some of these things are not compulsory before we begin to forge ahead and look better in the light of a better future. Because how do you explain a mother who went through the 9 months of pregnancy? Okay, today I'm saying my son is 2 years old. How do you expect me in another few years' time to begin to think of how to damage the boy's life? It's unheard of. So I would not even say that probably is the government. The government has little role to play. It starts with family. No, little role in the sense that if you don't go, you won't give government problem to how to look up for how to retrieve your child. I have a close friend home. I remember my friend. She slept in my house that day, and she was telling me about this. They said they'll go from Kano, and the way she portrayed it, I said, "See, you see this Morocco, Spain, my dear." I thought that point I played that is akuna that they are going to use you people to do. I don't know how to hide my mouth. I'm sorry. And I remember that then. Okay,
sorry, I'll continue with your story. You see, I've heard that thing, Morocco, Spain. I've not heard it in a long time. Well, I heard it when I was a teenager, and my mom was telling me that time that Morocco and Spain are not brothers and sisters. Let me take Pius. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Mario. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning. My sister, when I come against TVC News, normally watch you, my Malayo and the rest program. Issue of outside country, travel outside country, my sister, is the economy of the country. Before we used to see Togo and Ghana shipping to Nigeria. Well, today now, you cannot see any developed country where the economy is okay. You will not come to Nigeria, no, unless you come for PZ. Because of our economy, okay, today now, look at currency. It's the poorest currency in the world. I can tell you, me, I have business, I'm free. A year to a year, my sister. This way to the remember Wariko. I'm going to move Wariko. As when I've used last week, Wariko 250. Now this in our house. Before I didn't live where because of the economy, where everything is cheap. But today now, because of the economy, where would they work here? We just work for hand to match. But economy is poor as well. I'm too big because I have my children, I cannot tell my company and move. That's bad because I cannot move again. If I tell my company anything is patriot, I will declare.
Thank you so much, Pius. Pius has brought us to the part of government. When you were saying that government has small, in my head I was looking at it that if your house is comfortable, you might not necessarily relocate from your house. But if your house is not comfortable, you might. Or you were saying the story about...
Like I was saying, the story of my friend, very close friend. We've been friends for over 14 years. So, and it was one of the things why I actually distanced myself from her. So Heaven told me all the stories, and I said, see, you know what? You have 2 sewing machines. You had trained on being a tailor. I said, most of my outfits, like, okay, let's say we do a collaboration as your friend. Most of my outfits, I wear Nigerian made mostly. Because I'll say, how much will I begin to invest in one big international brand before they even recognize me? Do you understand? So I said, okay, we can start this collaboration. I'll pay you for it. I will be doing it gradually. Boom! I didn't say hi again. Only for me to check Facebook like few months later, and I saw her caption. I can't forget, enjoying the life of my head in Tripoli. Yes, if she's hearing me now, she'll know. And I saw that the background of where she took the picture was like a sardine shop, a provision store. In my head, I'm like, excuse my language, show me dancing. Why can't you cuckoo sell provision in Nigeria where you know that at least you can relate with your fellow people? And fast forward, so she didn't communicate. About 2 months later, I saw one gory, how do I put it now? One gory film on this thing. It was actually an adult X-rated on how they use them. 2 weeks after I saw that video, she called me and she said she started lamenting. They wanted to sell them. That the person who brought them over, I think there was their fee was supposed to be ₦1 million, but when they got there, the person said 1.6, and you know they have to work to pay that money first before they are even giving their passport or release. And I'm sorry, I told her, I would rather use my money to help people who really need it, other than you who came to my house, who I told the business plan. I encourage you to just keep pushing this thing in fashion design, because I believe that after hunger is clothes. Nobody will walk on the street naked except you are, at least we know that you're a Yaba left patient. So you will have prospects. But I just saw that fast money laziness in her.
Yes, the fast money.
Do you understand? When she came back after 2 years, she came back to ground zero. As in ground zero.
So she didn't even come back with anything.
She didn't come back with, and it took me 2 full years to be able to ask her about her experience. And the day she was actually sharing it, we were in my house again. And I was literally weeping for her. The way they went from Kano, they packed them like 11 or 12 of them inside one small car. And you know, there was one video that trended that like 16 people came out. It was true life. And she said, oh, she remembered that she got on board with some people from Kano and they had died after like few days. They got to this point. And I was just looking at her like this. So this relates back to some of these parents.
But do you know if she gets the opportunity, she'll do it again?
She will do it again.
I think she will do it again. If Evelyn is still there, if Evelyn is still there, I'll take Evelyn's call. Evelyn has called from Ikorodu. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Evelyn.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I wish to drop my opinion concerning this topic because I believe that there is no mother who have a valid information about what their children is going to go through and will allow them to go through that situation. Now, I just came back from UK and I saw how our children who have gone on the educational fees are suffering over that place. And I asked myself, why are these other children not in Nigeria to go through what our children are going through over there? And it goes back to our government, how they do not care for their children. They don't care for the youth of this country because if they do, no parent will sell his bakery or his house to pursue an unknown career over in another man's land. So please, we should not just sit down and say things that it looks as if we mother, we don't care for our children. We are only looking for a better future for these children. Unfortunately, they might not turn out what we expected because they do not have the valid information about what these children will eventually go through where you are sending them. So it is not an easy thing for you to borrow money for a child because you said when this child's life gets better, it will also be better for you. We need to do something.
Thank you so much, Madam Evelyn. Thank you so much, Madam Evelyn. We'll take a quick break now. When we return, we'll continue with the story and highlight that there are some mothers who deliberately do this, who know what might happen, but they are willing to take the risk and would like to hear calls from those who've heard of those kind of mothers as well. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Made Kuti in the view. It's still 7 of 7 and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 of 7 to be honest, because
Ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We will not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No.
About neuroplasticity.
And based on...
He asked a question that was subjective about high life. And he did not finalize his answer about a Kuti question where there are only 3 of us.
Editor, scratch this part out.
That could have possibly composed the music.
Editor, scratch this part out.
Stupidity is an act of ignorance.
Hey God, my day.
Was composed by which Kuti?
Femi Kuti.
Is that your final answer?
God, I'm Seun Kuti. No, wait, Femi Kuti.
You said
Femi Kuti. Wait.
You can't be allowed.
No, you've not asked me anything.
Everyone.
You've not asked me anything. So my final answer.
No. All I have to say is this show is really about drinking.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
The questions don't matter.
That's the whole
Justice
idea.
is out the window.
We throw caution to
we
the
have
wind
no
right
morals here.
On the 7 of 7.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name na Damilola Banire.
My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen. And this na Abigail. And I dare on top of you, pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this. Now after that day, the man
you no go see him again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're discussing the revelation, well, maybe not revelation, that we got from the Oyo State head of NAPTIP, and talking about how some mothers are involved in taking loans from financial institutions to send their children. This is relocation for education is different from trafficking. This is trafficking. Trafficking is when you are aware that there might be they are going to go and do.
There might be dangers.
Yes, it's a dangerous terrain. It's not a formal relocation. It's not a formal relocation. It's not you're getting passport, you're getting visa. They're not processing visa or anything. They're taking them by bus via road to enter into some different areas. People might die, and the expected job is they will be a maid, or in most cases they even know they will be sexually abused.
I want to defend the mothers. I don't believe that they know exactly what their kids will go to.
Some of them, some of the...
Apart from them being lied to, you think that we are sending our kids to boarding school because we believe that when they come out, they become better persons. But if some of us see the video of what happens in boarding school, you go keep a picking for armpits. Not even inside us. You go hide down inside brown. Go protect her. Because we really don't know. Somebody has gone and made a success of it. You know, when Benin was trending, people thought, no, every Benin girl was loose. Yeah. Their mothers didn't see. When the government made it a point of orientation to play the videos, to recount, give the girls stories.
Shivering inside the cold.
Mothers thought, you see families fighting families. Not be you can't carry my pikin talk, say, go abroad, go wash. Now plate you wash. When people saw the outcome of what their kids were going through, there are still victims among these mothers who think this life is not easy. Some are in polygamous marriages. They can't even talk to their daddy. Daddy is not providing food. You are mother and father inside your marriage to your children. And the mother will say, okay, let me go and meet my brother and sister. Some will send their kids to Lagos to come and be washing plates in Bukas from this same Oyo. Yes, don't you see those stories? Yeah, so when you look at Buka and in Oyo and Buka in abroad, you choose one. Yes, because that's the reality. And it's not just economic. We make victims of our vulnerable as Nigerians. Nigerians go abroad. Somebody sat in abroad there to collect money from them under the guise of admission and jobs, and stole all of their pounds and left them on the streets in London. Oh yeah, they never cross. Is this the Nigeria economy? So we know that we must change our mentality as a people and not just blame a set of people.
Not blaming the mothers.
Not blaming government alone. Not blaming the mothers alone. The circumstances are different. When I was growing up, I used to think what my mother used to say was a general thing until I saw some Auchi girls who actually were also willingly trafficking themselves, or boys willingly going. They will go as far as Ghana just to call it abroad. Whereas when we were growing up, it was a thing against my parents' values. I was 21 before I could spend a holiday outside of my house. We never visited anybody or stayed in anybody's house. They covered their children like beds. Wood. That's how my parents, they will say, no, now wait till if I chop sand, my pikin chop sand. I drink garri, my pikin drink garri, better for me. They will cover. But when I grew up, I saw that it was different outside. People would do anything and their circumstances varied. You cannot generalize.
You're from Abuja. So sorry, Titi.
So I'm going to agree with Nima to a large extent in the sense that we don't have to blame our mothers, but some of the mothers are not educated. So their kids go there, lie to them,
most of them,
and tell them that this is it. You know, maybe if they have a friend, just like I mentioned earlier. I remember there was a story that was trending. This one, it was her friend that took her. There's an agent. There's always somebody that does all the processing and everything.
It's a business.
The agent, yes. So the agent took her. This country was India. They harvested her organ. They removed one of her kidneys, and then they left one. And then when they caught the guy said, she can walk, she can actually function with only one kidney. She can function with that. Justifying the reason, like making it like, oh, it's okay for him to laugh. He stole her organ now. She didn't give it to him, you stole it. And then, they had to now start thinking of how to bring her. But it was all over the news that time, and it was a very serious...
It's not one, you're stating this one.
So many.
I know so many.
Yeah,
went
I think
to
we
India
need to.
On that same
So I think we need to start educating the mothers. We educate the mothers and also the people, the girls, the boys that do all of these things, that go for all these things. It's all this fast money. Poverty is happening everywhere. It's all over the world. But we need to be conscious of ourselves and make sure that we are taking good care of ourselves to avoid things like this.
All right, Emmanuel from Kano, welcome to the show. Emmanuel, are you there? Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Kano. Quite an interesting topic you have. I would also like to tilt towards what Haja Nima was saying. So most times when we talk about human trafficking, we're always looking at it from the angle of whether from Nigeria to either an African country or a European country. It happens a lot within Nigeria, even from the local place to a nearest urban city. And I really wouldn't want to see it from the angle where people think parents are aging. Every parent wants the good and growth of their children, and even within the Nigerian space, many parents have had to send their children or take their children from public government schools to private schools and pay heavily from their nose, not because they are waiting for their children to become their HTM, but they will look at the circumstance that, okay, even within Nigerian university, you say you want to go to the government university, your child spends 8 years, 9 years, instead of the normal 4 years. Why won't you just add up that money and put them in a private, though very expensive school? If all spares, I repeat, if all spares were working and every ministry or parastatal is held accountable, we won't have all this mess we're having right now. Every parent, I still repeat, yes, we know there are minute parents who willingly, they know what is going to be happening there. They have friends their friends' children are there who have even told them XYZ had happened. But they will still want to do that and after mom will die or anything. But in fairness, every parent is even out to make their children comfortable, because that is even the best thing you can do for your children. You are sending your children to school or buying shares on their behalf. It's not because you want them to help you. You might not even be there to enjoy that, but you are leaving this world knowing that at least you gave your children good education. You dropped some money for them. You gave them legacy, values of life. Whether they give you in turn, which sometimes they don't do even with these Gen Zs now. They will tell you, your own time don't pass, nothing concerns me. So parents shouldn't also government should take the blame. They should, yes.
Thank you so much Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, for bringing us to government, because for me, I think that we can't take away the government's part here. I liked the caller earlier who spoke about how people used to come from Ghana to, we had Ghanaian teachers when I was in primary school teaching in my school. People, even up until last year, majority of our tailors, our fashion designers, the tailors were from Ivory Coast. They were from, and many of them went back last year when the idea of when subsidy went and naira was devalued. They felt like if I'm in my Ivory Coast, what I'm earning from Nigeria is not worth sending there. The value of their money had gone higher than Nigeria, so they just went back home. I have many fashion designer business owners who lost all their tailors who went back home because of the economy here. So if the economy here is good, if business is going well, if food is available, if your money has value in the market, do you really think that parents will be considering sending their children abroad? Maybe we should address the fact that there is poverty, and poverty has led to increase in number of people being trafficked, regardless of the risk they are willing to take it.
Yes, I don't think the apple will fall far from its tree, because yes, government has a blame. But in all of it, my own is the family unit, the functional family unit. There are a lot of things we dump on the neck of the government that even we are convinced that the government might not attend to it. And this government that it starts from choosing empathetic leaders. So it takes us back to our kind of electoral system. It takes us back to the kind of people, the kind of leaders we put in position to lead us. And when you now begin to talk about, okay, it's hard everywhere. People go to the UK and complain before they even get their feet to balance. I mean, since few days back or few weeks back, let me say, at my perfume store, we've been looking for a cleaner. We had one who said, she wanted to go and invest in a handcraft. She makes hair, so she left. And even when we're willing to pay the minimum wage, we are still not finding somebody who wants to clean. I mean, so sometimes it's like, but there's work now. We are not seeing the person that will do it. But people will keep saying there's no job. So what's the correlation? No matter how little, I think one of the things that we also grew up understanding was contentment. Yes, it's not everybody that wants that big money, as much as some people aspire for $500 million and this and that. But some just want to live in the space of their comfort, have the things that they can afford, the basics. One of my friends now used to make a prayer that may the basic not become luxury. I agree, that's why it falls on the government. But it's just like you saying that I decided to go and give birth in a private hospital when there is a government hospital. I decided, because I had my own conviction why I do not want to go to government. So it's the same thing like keeping your children here, weighing the prospects. Is it not better you keep a child here that you can monitor, you can talk to, other than the one that might not even call you in 3-6 months, and after like a year you're already giving up, maybe he's even dead. And our Yoruba people will say, so sometimes they are just in between. But I think that every parent, yes, education is good, but please, anywhere that your eye did not reach. Ibadan, that I took my son to is because I have people in Ibadan. That if they say something happen, I can call 1 or 2, 5 people. Please help me run. I won't risk it. I won't. So we should stay within the limit of the risk we can contain.
Let's take Ade as our final caller on this topic. Ade from London, welcome to the show. So sorry we missed that.
So let me interpret for Rama's sake. My child lost, better say my child died, better say my child lost. Because child being lost, you will never have closure. You'll be looking for the child.
That's what she was saying. We'll take a quick break right now. The long and short of this show, the part discussing this trafficking, is because we just want to raise awareness, because we believe that genuinely most of the mothers and parents who are supporting this human trafficking, which is where people's children are taken to become sex slaves, organ donors without their own permission, and taken as slavery, just pure slavery generally, is what we're dealing with. And those are the ones we want you to be aware of, not the legal migration. So, of course, we want the government to do what they can, but we also want parents to be aware of what they are using their children to do. That's what we can take on this.
You have a call on you, or should you have work? Show them what is happening.
It's all over the country.
We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll go into another hot topic with a special guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Global Entrepreneurship Festival, to be hosted at the Entrepreneurship Village in Nigeria, November 22nd to the 24th. Join world leaders, heads of state, diplomats, ministers, governors, investors, policymakers, tech leaders, organizations, startups, and entrepreneurs from all over the world. To attend, visit www.globalentrepreneurshipfestival.com. For partnerships, call 234-912-165-9914. Over 20 million viewers, 5,000 event participants, 200 exhibitors, 43 global speakers, and 12 events, which includes conferences, trade fairs, innovation and robotics expo, art and creative exhibitions, a dazzling fashion show, and a closing concert. All in one global festival. Don't miss it.
As the morning light filters in, the Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
We bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you seize your day one step at a time.
On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back-to-back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment. Only on Max Hits.
Area, waiting the apple, waiting the shop. Tune into our award-winning waiting the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a massive way.
You know what it is. It's the Max House Party. King Dion, DJ Charlie Shee. Let's go.
102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome pioneer Positive Force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni, Yeni, Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger,
take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
Eh?
I said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75. Fellas wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Rush on.
No be half.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa Road. Nepa.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're moving on to another topic. A lady on Twitter, rather X, says that men will literally choose a shy, polite, gentle woman with no achievements physically over an arrogant, career-focused woman. Do you agree? You can join the conversation by calling us on 0810-764-1679, or you can tweet to us, or even go into YouTube, where we're streaming right now, and join the conversation. To better break down this, we are having someone else join us to enjoy this conversation, make it more rich. She's a relationship and emotional therapist. Her expertise lie in equipping couples and individuals with necessary tools to navigate life's challenges, foster growth, and cultivate tranquility. Welcome with us, Oluwadamilola Mayowa Eric Ojo, with your full name. So, please, clap for our...
I'm clapping for myself, actually.
Clap for yourself.
And I have a namesake here, so I'm so excited.
Sitting together.
Yeah, that's nice.
With the same
Wow, yeah, that's it. Yes, that's it.
So, generally, when this lady wrote this thing, in my mind, I wanted to just go at her. Why did she have to label the career-focused person arrogant? And then why did she label the quiet, humble, shy and humble person as no achievements? Because it doesn't necessarily follow those two lines. But here's the first question. Do you believe that men will pick a quiet, shy person above a high achiever, high-flying woman?
Okay, honestly, men pick what they want. It varies for different men. For people that pick, they want emotional stability, or they just want to be, they don't want any wahala, they'll probably go for that. They're comfortable with that. But with someone with no achievement, it's like a no-no. How can you go for someone that doesn't have any achievement? And on the other hand, we have some men whereby they want women who are career-driven because they need someone that would challenge,
not compete.
Yes. Some even need competitive. Some need support. Some need competitive. They need that competition whereby it pushes them. Okay, she's getting to me. Let me
move ahead. Let me go
so
ahead.
Some men like that.
Okay.
Yes. It depends on what individual wants, right? But most times, people that come out and say this is insecurity. Honestly, is insecurity, and they have issues with their emotions. So their emotions is really not.
With a grain of salt. Nima, what was your opinion when you saw this tweet as a learned, our only learned colleague on the show today?
You know, I just know that men want what they want, and it varies per time. So what they want in 2009 might change in 2015.
Yes.
Yes, because I remember when my husband met me, he kept saying, no, I like your ambitious nature, I like your vibrancy, I like your clinical. When my vibrancy now turned to, I miss your...
Turn it down.
Right?
I miss the first name.
Yeah, I miss the first. So it really doesn't... It's not locked in anybody's scripts the way she wrote it. And you know, there's, just as you said, there's no box in any particular kind of person around achievement. You know, you have very achieving women who are extremely calm, collected. Demure Abikilorins. You know, and they're like that. But when you see the profile, oh my goodness, you'll be more than intimidated. And they cannot even shout. Whereas the ones that are shouting, that they are just there gathering the certificates, no real achievement except, you know, what they spend money for. Because a friend of mine loved this girl so much. He married her. She said, oh no, I'm a PhD student. Only to find out that she had not even done masters. He started funding it that, okay, she has ambition. She have added the masters. She's now doing the PhD. She have almost added the PhD. But she has never worked. No work experience, nothing. Really, but if that's what you call an achievement, plenty
the books are high.
You know, if you want a woman who has a business, who did not even have those PhD and masters, but she had a business. I had one who had a business. She had started hairdressing early, and now she has a huge salon. She knows the business of hairdressing, but she knows to go school, pass her WAEC. She traded, learnt the trade, and learnt the business of it. She knows how to put the monies aside. She pays her rent. She does her business. So is that what you're looking for? If you want book, idea. If you want skill, idea. You want business, achievement vary. Choose the one you want. If plenty, you know, different women and what they call goals and what you want as a goal. And I have one that I like to align with whenever it suits me, because if not beside I go school, I'll just have been a good mom. She does it well. She does it well. I regretted not finishing skill with a friend of mine. I hope she's watching. But when she finished learning skill, she started tailoring. She thought, okay, I'll do this business as a tailor after graduating from Delsu. So she went into the business and she started learning it. While she was learning, I was struggling to finish diploma in law and I want her to be a lawyer. This, my friend, finished that. Finished her tailoring, and then UBA called, and then she got employed. So she has that skill on one side. The business is blooming on one side. She's doing the corporate life on one side. She moved from there to another bank. She's using the money, and I'm there. That time I used to help her to tie the end of all her, because she used to do these hair ruffles. So we'll finish it for her. We'll pack it. When she's going to supply the women, I'll be following her. She's my best friend. I'll be following her, but I did not jump and do that thing then. So now I'm looking at her and looking at all the skills she's with. Which achievements do you want?
So, Ramatu, I want to come to you because there's a general conception, this general idea that northern women are, demure. They are, very gentle,
Conservative.
They are very conservative. They don't talk. They're
shy.
If you put water
They don't
in their
go to
mouth,
school. They don't like walk.
They can hold the water in for you for 7 days. They will not say anything. And Mariam was like, that's what they say, but northern women can talk. I said, I don't understand. So Ramatu, please educate us.
Yes.
Because it seems what Nigerian men like is the way those northern women are, that they will just keep quiet and,
modest.
No, but to be sincere, we are quiet to a large extent. And, we believe that our husbands are our leaders, they are our kings. So we try to obey everything that they say and all of that. But you know that most of us are not school like that. So, but the little that some of us that are educated, we're able to, sometimes we just have a way of talking and bringing out ourselves in a way that is it's quiet and, but there are some of us that really talk. They are like, for example, who will I even use as an example? Some of us really talk. We talk out and we say our minds and, but not, yes, but we are always quite respectful and we just, yeah.
So it's not like do you feel it's a cultural thing or?
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. Once you are supposed to be shy, you're not supposed to come out openly and to be outspoken and all. You just feel like, this one is just loud and everything. But once you are quiet, and those are qualities, characteristics that they look out in women.
So those ones get married faster, babe?
Get married faster.
Damn me. Nobody can accuse you of being quiet. Lie. It's impossible. Nobody can accuse you of being, I'm not ambitious, is a lie.
It's not my accusation. No, it's not my own.
But when you saw this tweet that was released, what was your first thought? And did you agree with it? Do you feel it was misleading, or do you feel it was judgmental or generalizing? What was your opinion?
My first opinion or my first thought was that the adjective, the qualifying word of arrogance.
Yeah.
I was talking about it in my house yesterday, and I said it means that this writer had a particular person in mind she was targeting. There must be somebody in that picture who has shown that arrogance for career-focused women, because we have them all over, scattered all around the nation, scattered all around the place. And when you hear the backstory, you find out that, even some people look at me. I've heard it like over 2-3 times that I look unapproachable. I'm like Amy. That finish me.
The same.
Do you understand?
Say
that you look, your first look is like, if I approach this lady, she might. Yes, as much as I have a boundary, you can. If you cross that boundary, my dear, it's like you want to ask for anyhow. So you will see anyhow. So don't just cross it. But when a woman is saying, women who are career focused, they are arrogant, it just tells me that she has a particular target. It's not to be generalized. Maybe she would have helped us by just putting over Funke, who is an arrogant career focused woman. It will help us trickle it down. Yes. But like Nima said, men want what they want. I remember my first serious relationship, or one of the very first serious relationship that I had for over 2 years. What he constantly said was, I want an outspoken woman. I know I'm a shy person. I want a woman who is there. But at the end of the day, he saw me on TV 12 years back. But after like 2 years, he couldn't cope no longer, because I would always put it on the table that I will leave any man at any point when he begins to tamper with my job. It's just sacrosanct for me. Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't, because I learned from my dad that there are 4 stages in life. You, yourself. The job that feeds you. Then your child. Because apparently when you can't feed the child, even the child will begin to question why you brought them to the world. Then any other supporting striker, maybe your extended parents and families. So when you live with this, at a certain point, you'll be able to decipher, okay, what do I want to go for? Even as a woman, we know what we want now. Is it everything we find in a man that we want, hook, line, and sinker? So we wait, okay, because he's not doing a white-collar job, or because he does not have a 9-to-5 job, but he has a booming business, you tend to always bend. And that's what relationship is about. But when you are bringing this cast in stone, over arrogance, focus, my dear, tell us the person you're talking to. Exactly. Go straight to the point.
So, but when Dami Erikojo,
so we can distinguish.
Yes, when Dami Erikojo came up with the idea of insecurity, it was like a bang for me, like
a spark.
Because there's some people, when they talk, you can smell their insecurity.
Yes.
You can smell that maybe a lady would come out and say this because maybe she's had some bad relationships and she's thinking the reason she's had those bad relationships is because she is very outspoken.
Right.
So she's beginning to question her person because she feels that her person is the reason she hasn't had a relationship.
Right.
So I'm sure somebody like that is watching our show right now and is saying that I've gone through a few relationships and all the men say I talk too much, I'm too ambitious, I like money too much, I'm always jumping about business. Maybe I need to change my person so that I can find a man that will marry me. Help us deal with the insecurity of that women go through in trying to get married.
Okay, I would first say that you don't have to change your person because over time, once you enter the marriage and at one point in time you bring out that same person, what happens?
They say you have changed.
They say you have changed.
With
So
them
be you in the process of whatever you're doing, right? Make sure that your emotional baggage, we all have emotional baggage,
Absolutely.
has been checked. You now have emotional, you are not matured emotionally. You have gone through the baggages, you've dumped the ones that are not necessary, you've gone through, yes, and you have yourself. You have self-confidence. Your self-esteem is on point. Then whatever you have, a man that suits that
will attract.
Will come. Don't bend for the other person because at the end it burns. It burns you at the end. Because you might get to a point in life you need all those things that you have
dumped.
That you have dumped. For instance, maybe you're an outspoken person. You stop being outspoken and you're not very calm. Now you need to be on air. You need to be on TV. You need to do that. Then your man is looking at you and say,
where did all this come from?
Please, what's happening? Oh, I thought you were reserved. I thought you were this. What do you want? No, I wasn't though. It's because, no, then everything else scatters. And that's where the problem starts. So be you. Just know what you want for yourself. And look out for that in your partner.
So D-Bob Events said something on YouTube. He said, insecure men will prefer women with no achievements.
Yes, definitely.
See the way you just said it?
Yes,
I wanted to ask if you agree.
No, definitely. That's why that's the reason of that tweet. Yes, because any man that says he wants what he listed in a woman, then he's insecure. And he has issues with his emotions.
Can we see that as knowing yourself? I might not be insecure. I might just know that I cannot handle a woman. I'm a secure man. I know myself. I love myself. But any woman that is going to be too sharpapa and ambitious, I don't want.
I think where the insecurity comes in is those, like she said, the
adjective of arrogant
and the no achievements. Even if you're modest, even if you should have an achievement. Like the Nima said, career. She went for PhD, she went for everything. Someone is going for skill acquisition or something, building up this. So you must have an achievement. You must know what you're aiming at. Exactly.
And to a large extent, I don't even think we should be with such kind of man that doesn't want you to have achievements. Yes, because you can't.
But what if you tell?
No, if there's a woman that wants, there are some women that want that.
Some women that
they just want.
They call it peace.
Thank you.
It's not peace. They want to be taken care of.
They want to be taken care of. They want to have
being a housewife is also a job.
They don't know. Now, you know that's
they don't know
that's the most underrated job.
And it's a lot. It's a lot because it drains housewife. It drains mentally
of your hair.
Because when you're career driven, you still go out, you see your friends, you're having conversation,
you have escaped.
You have escaped very well, you've done all that. But housewife,
I combine both. And when I get to my office and I tell my secretary 10 minutes, it's to sleep. It's to sleep.
Meditation.
It's meditation. Then I'll put my prayer mats down, I'll pray, and then I'll go for 10 minutes. And nobody dares knock the door. But if I try it at home, 10 minutes.
There's no 10 minutes at home.
No.
Just have a 10 minutes.
Someone is coming to knock your door immediately. When you say you're tired, mommy, please.
Then when you tell them you don't want, they will stay outside the door. And since they cannot come in for that 10 minutes,
thank you.
Thank you. Sounds.
Different sounds.
You start coming and like
so really, I used to do this to my husband deliberately. Just put the things on the table and say, okay, this weekend, we don't have help. And me, I'm tired. So you will do X and X. If you want to state those items, you say, we need a maid in this house. We need a maid. Yeah. But when I do it effortlessly, there can be weekends, because I consider it part of my exercise, just starts at 6 a.m. and I'm you're trying. That's the thank you. That's it. So we really...
It healed you now.
But that's an achievement. So I would like some of my friends, sit down. Women in the hijab are really kept women. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Relax, they will serve you. Husband will buy fuel.
He will even buff
you will fix. Your money for your mom, you will send.
Yes.
The one for your heart, you will pay. You know, everything will do. He kept woman's life.
that I know. That is not peace for you.
That's peace. That's peace. That is the new me at this age.
It's the new you right now.
Age, I'm tired.
But it's the peace really peaceful.
All right. So it's peaceful. So that we can hear one after the other. I want to pose this particular question because of what Nima said. Now, Nima, and I know she's just making jests because, of course, the house responsibility can be a bit overwhelming with the kids at home. So, but what she's making jest of can be somebody's reality. You marry as a very ambitious person. Your husband expects that ambition. You were contributing financially, but you are tired. You want to sit down and be taken care of. And the man does not understand why my very ambitious wife now wants to rest. Or you married as a non-ambitious, my achievement is to be a mother. And after a few years of mothering these 3 or 4 children, you say, my children are in boarding house. What can I say I've been doing? Right. I want to now go into the market space. And your husband now comes up and say, that was not our agreement. Your achievement was to be a good wife and mother, not to now go into the industry and do business. How do we manage the changes that happen based on life? Life happens, change happens. How do we manage it from the perspective of the person changing and from the perspective of the person on the receiving end of the change? How do we manage it?
So most times what happens is if you have always, as couples, if you always have what we call review sessions with your spouse, as things are evolving, you would be having these constant conversations with your spouse. Now, if things like this want to happen, most mistake that we make as individuals in a relationship is we want to dump our opinions that this is what I want, so take it. Meanwhile, that person that you're trying to dump that in already has a kind of lifestyle that suits him or her. He's already comfortable with the way we are going straight. And now you're saying, okay, let's just turn right or let's turn left or whatever angle you want us to turn. So it should be something that they come and sit down. It's not a one-off conversation. It's something that it's as if I tell my clients most times, you are pitching. I'm telling my husband, okay, I think we should relocate or I think we should do this. I think I want to start selling cars. What is my reasons? I'm making him understand these are the reasons. This is what is going to bring. Okay, we don't have the help. These are the things I'll put in place. These are the things we need to put in place. So we join heads together and prefer a solution. Then for me to just say, okay, I want to start selling cars. And next one, how do you want us to cope? No maid, no this. How would the children go to school? You would have known what you're coming to tell your partner. So as you're saying it, okay, this is what I put in place, and I say, okay, right, this can work. But don't you think that we should add this?
So having open dialogue, that's from the perspective of the person who wants to change. When we return from this commercial break, we will address from the person who did not expect change, and change is now happening. How do you deal with it? Stay with us, we'll be right back. So you can all throw.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
We are thrilled to have you on board as we...
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go.
Okay, that's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show,
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym though, you're getting fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No. Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we've been addressing some things about relationship, men wanting to marry quiet women, some men wanting to marry ambitious women. What if you marry a quiet man and she now suddenly says she wants to take over the world? She wants to travel around the world after she had already told you her ambition is to just be a married woman and raise her children. How would the man or the person, it might even be opposites in this case, how would the person now deal with the sudden change in the relationship?
So it's actually always a lot when it comes to that, honestly. And what we always advise is seek therapy, because some men are quite, and some women too, are quite difficult to approach. Now, communicating with people, you have to know the kind of communicator you're communicating with. How you communicating to that person. There are some words say when, how, where, and whatever you're communicating and why. So these are the things that you need to put into consideration when you're having a conversation with someone, because you would have taken, and first and foremost is, what kind of communicator am I communicating? Is it the accommodator? Is it the person that avoids, or the other one? Because you have to look at those things critically. So I would advise for people that their partners are not easily approachable, counseling is always the best way, because at that point in time, if they keep doing it, their relationship keeps having a gap in between, and they don't know how to approach their partner. It's for them to better come and learn and explain what kind of person the person is. Yes, Damla.
Even this counseling, an unapproachable partner, how do you now begin to cajole or coerce that he should follow you to go and meet another person? To now begin to discuss his family. I think traditionally our kind of men, depending on their exposure, they are not wired like that. Ibadan man, you say make he can't go for counseling, excuse you?
Maybe Ibadan, just
everybody. Nigeria in general. No, some of them have
even some women. Even some women.
The one that they don't pass like this.
Hey.
But this is
so how would you? Yes.
Yes.
So most times what we do for people like that is let the person that wants to change or address whatever they come in first. Then when you hear their stories, you hear everything, this is the kind of person, we can be able to put it on the table and say, okay, this is the kind of person you're dealing with.
Okay.
Approach it this way.
Okay.
Try it this way. Let's see how it goes. You don't need to bring the partner in immediately. So it's for you to learn how to approach your partner. So you know there are some homes whereby it's just good morning, good afternoon. There's no form of relationship. There's no form of friendship.
No cordiality.
We're just parenting.
Living partners.
Living in flatmates.
Neighbors, house neighbor.
We call ourselves flatmates, and we're co-parenting in the same house. So for people like that don't really have a relationship, they don't have that bond, that connectivity, that vulnerability with their partner, these are always the better way to go about it. Because if you go about it the way I say I go about mine, you go enter inside ditch. Serious ditch.
Has there ever been a case where you had to go and talk to the spouse? Has there ever been a case like that?
No, you can't, as a counselor, you can't go and approach the spouse. They need to be willing. Okay. They have to be willing. You can't, and I tell people when they come individuals, do not force your partner, because most of us will say, women most especially, we need to go for counseling. If you don't go for counseling, I'm not more doing it again. I will do it, and the man will just carry his bag. Let's go. And he's perturbed. I'm telling you, he's not there, but he's physically there. That's what you want, so I'm here. So let's be doing it, and that's how they sit. Oh, let her talk. Oh, and you just say 1 point, 2 points. That's all. He would not even express.
But Dami, what would you say is the percentage of Nigerian marriages where the couple have agreed that there's a problem? It's usually one person seeing the problem, struggling with the problem, finding the solution, before the other party can catch up. Some people it takes up to 10 years for the other party to catch
But
up.
I think she already mentioned sort of what the solution will be, that the person who is seeing the problem can come for
No.
counseling.
I'm saying the percentage of couple where you in Nigeria today, where the two parties.
We're not there yet.
It's not. We are not even there yet, because even therapy and counseling, people still find it difficult to come up
individually
and see a therapist.
Most times.
Now, even if you tell them, oh, this is a certain fee, so what am I going to be doing? I'm saying you're going to come and speak whatever you need, and you're getting tools that will help you to become a better person, a better version of yourself. So don't you want to become a better version of yourself? But people feel that, and Shebi is just for us to talk. So why can't I talk to my sister? Why can't I talk to my brother? Why can't I talk to you?
So therapists they suffer this thing. I thought it was only lawyers.
No.
People will talk to you for hours. And
No,
they
it
don't
is.
think paying time.
Yes. So you see some people, I'm like, okay, it's almost, you know the hours there is 1 hour, 15 minutes. And next thing is, oh, please, next one, can I do 3 hours at a stretch? 3 hours. I can't.
They want to dump everything on you.
No.
Me, I've had people who come and when we finish topics like this, somebody will now come in. You see that your topic, I really need help. And then he wants to say the story. I'll be like, I am not a professional therapist. I'm a TV host. I give my opinion. If you actually have a marriage problem, you should talk to a therapist. And I'll send number, my dear. None of them go and pay the therapist for conversation because they don't see the value in paying for professional help, you know, and it is important that we normalize paying for professional help so that we know what we're doing part-time. But there was another thing that went viral this week. Fashion designer Vicky James pressing the neck of single people on social media. So she teaches women how to be submissive and treat their husband. According to her, women should kneel down while serving food. So I want to ask my wonderful ladies of you, with all our businesses and achievements and accomplishments, that should people be reacting to this social media content that are meant to just stimulate conversation and give them views, or should we just learn to ignore it? Or do you think it is something that is important to work on? Dami, I've not heard you speak for a while.
I know that Vicky is still the butterflies in her stomach. I do not have anything against her. I wish her all the best in her marriage. But I also strongly believe, like the therapist will agree, that the thing that you cannot continue, please do not start. It's of no essence, because at some point in that journey, they are going to ask you, but how about this thing you started with? Why did you dump it? Then it will become a challenge. So you know that you cannot wash plates for yourself. Esma, don't go there and be washing plates. You know that you cannot do laundry and laundromat for yourself. Don't feel that because I'm in the pipeline. So that, see, it's not worth it. Like in my relationship, I will say to you that, Esa, I'm working so that I can afford a dry cleaner. If I have to pay for you to dry clean your clothes, but I won't even wash my own. But yes, Vicky can. She's fresh in marriage. I think less than a year. That's why I said it's still the butterflies. Things will change. I hope she can keep up the pace, because when children start to come in, there is no how. You see that time that you should kneel down, you hear when. So you're just going to probably dump the food on the bed. My dear, help yourself. Or you even go to the kitchen and get it. So
I don't like the way these ladies are talking. I don't agree with this.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's be realistic.
You don't want
there are times, there are times you can do it starting before the kids. When the kids come, you take a break. You understand? Then when you return back to square one where you started, because at some point it will remain just you and daddy, then you can go back to it. But you see, there's a break time that I might rub the head part. You'll be looking at that head sometimes like coconut. Like, what am I doing with this kind of head? It is dead. That's just the blunt, harsh, realistic truth. Yes. So yes, enjoy it from my perspective. Enjoy it, document, so that you can show it on that paying. But she's straight, but balance So yes, things happen, but don't generalize or make it feel like women who do not do it, because some men too will not decipher between the lines of content and actuality or reality. Yes. So and they will begin to now point at their girlfriend that this is one woman. Esa, okay, let me hang it there. Okay.
So I know that many people take our show as like a Bible truth, you know, and we also need to learn to balance. There are some women that, despite having children and all of that, their reality is, I must dish food for my husband. Like, they would dish the food. and serve. Daddy doesn't come to the kitchen. And they're okay with it. So if all of us on this show don't do it, does not mean that the person who is doing it is wrong. I just wanted to put that there.
I cater to my husband. I love doing it.
Me, I don't do it, Charlie.
My husband only gets to eat one meal in the house except his weekend a day. He must eat the food like a king.
Absolutely.
You know, so I absolutely love cooking it with my hands and serving the food
cooking with love.
And I try to get the best set to show it. So he will sit wherever he wants to sit, except he's outside. Because my neighbors will say, they hear that one, I say, come upstairs and if you want to eat, I cannot bring your food outside. But I would serve him. So we're not here to bash anybody and their disposition about how they want. But you don't teach a person how to love. And that's why I always laugh at all these content creators.
Yes.
You don't teach a person how to love or show love to their spouses. All these things, when I look at it, I carry you, well done. You see, this one me I used to do. I know people who cannot do it. And I know the stages in my marriage, I couldn't even care. I did not care where I was. Like, well, if you like, eat. If you like, don't eat. Am I your mother? You know, we've been at that point.
Yes.
In the past, when we were just starting our marriage, when our total fund together was not anything, I made sure that we had a wedding anniversary. See saving. Go don't start from August 1st. Before that 15th. I would make sure I would have the meal planned. I would cook it. I would say, candles were complete. I have eye sets for these things. My husband would just, he didn't know. If I had left him the way I met him, he would never really have bothered. But I wanted it. I don't need a budget for it. I don't need you to take me to I will put the whole works in place.
Yes.
Yeah. If you love someone, you need a manual. So put it in manual to now and they are learning. Candle no day.
Okay, but for
last year, one candle. This year, not at all. Maybe next year. You know, depending on what things will change, but you don't teach a person how to love. What is content?
Like for someone like me, I had to learn how to do some certain things, right? Because I met my husband in school. We've been in, open spaces where there's a place in our school where we go to eat kosh and dosh. That's we call it akara, and and we're eating from the same plate, and we're talking and we're gisting, that kind of a thing. And then we got married. And, I'll bring the food and I'll put on the table. Me and him will eat from the same plate. At some point, we had to have that conversation. He said, I want to have my food. I need to be served properly. Again. And that was when I was like, I'm married. Okay, the way I'm putting it, it's okay. Now he said, no, that he wants it served. And that was how I had to go look for coolers, look for proper food. And that's how we started serving him. So sometimes you have to learn. I had to have that kind of conversation with him. Reach out.
So I learned from my friend. I stayed in her house in the US, and I saw the way she served. When I say I learned, it's not like I'm doing it before. I don't do it every time. I don't do it most of the time, actually. But when we have special occasion, I would do ceremonial serving. But in my house, my husband, Mr. Mark, goes to the kitchen to dish his food by himself. Does it mean you don't love him? 90% of the time. That's my reality. On weekends, he cooks 50% of the time. Wow. That's my reality. I'm the one that will now come and be like, hey, what are you cooking? But that's my reality. It does not mean it will work for you. You shouldn't be compelling your own husband to enter the kitchen and do it. But I learned from my friend, who though she lived in the US, and people would think that because you're here, everybody's on their own. No, my friend cooks and dishes and this, like there is plate for daddy, cup for daddy, and
spoon, cutlery, for daddy.
It is special. It is a set. It does not get missing. This is daddy's
Nobody
thing.
uses it.
It is to honor my king. I felt it was really nice, so I came back and bought gold spoon and gold kiddy, but I don't know where it is anymore right now.
That's what I was about to ask. Where is the cup? One that is, I said, proper set. Now plates now. That's the person who are using it to say.
I'm telling you. So I want to come to you and talk about giving helping people who are trying to find this solution, because one of the things we're doing on this show right now is offering free therapy-ish, because people are saying on YouTube that country is hard, people are looking for money for food, they are saying we should go and pay for therapy. It is important to you, you will pay for it. But enjoy this free therapy that we're getting from our guest today, who has done this several years, on how we can navigate all of these things. How do you navigate content versus reality, where we keep seeing these things on social media every day and you're feeling inadequate because you can't meet up to the kind of pressing of neck that Vicky is pressed to Empo's neck?
So the thing is that first and foremost is, if you know what you want, you wouldn't be going by what you see on social media, what my friends is doing, what I want. You have a mind of your own because you already have an aim and a goal outlined of what you want as an individual. And we're all unique, we're all different. Absolutely. So what works for Dami might not work for Nima, might not work for her too as well. It's the same thing. So you have to pick what suits you and also make sure that whatever suits you is going to suit your partner. Yes. Don't lose your identity in the process. Don't be a pleaser in the process of you saying you want to do some certain things. That's why I talked about you doing, there's what we call a review meeting with spouses. You're supposed to be doing that. I, for one, I do it with my husband a lot of times. Most times, sometimes, God said, I'll not be like,
are we okay?
Femi, but this thing, I've been doing it for years. I never knew you were not comfortable with me. Said, it's now that I'm just seeing it. I'm realizing. I'm realizing. I'm like, okay, fine. Same thing with me. I'll be like, you say, but you're used to it now. You always laugh about it. And why? How come here? And I'm like, okay, it's just now. Because we can never be the same. We are changing. We're evolving as individuals. We're not changing for any other person, but for ourselves, to become a better version of ourselves. So our needs and wants are becoming different. So it is very important. It is very crucial. What will work for you? Content is different. It's for you to laugh. Vicky James that did that video, you're not 100% sure whether she's doing it in her home. Yeah. She just did it for content. She's just probably trying to show that, okay, this is how much I love my spouse. Yes, it's just per se in the content form.
It's mainly for content.
It's for content.
Because she does not need to show anybody if she loves him. It's just him that she needs to show.
No, but it's shown to the world with everything that we see.
Sometimes content. I also just believe that the so-called blogs do not actually know what exactly to feed the mass media with. Yeah. Sometimes some contents are better on the pages of whoever posted it. Let people travel to their page to watch it on their page. But if you're seeing maybe a supposed credible news blog picking such stories, and you begin to wonder, that's how we began to consume the things that were not our business in the first place. Because you have brought it there. I'm following your blog because, okay, I've seen a lot of credible news over the time, information, and I'm coming there and you are just showing me somebody on a yacht who is having the life, and you are intimidating who wants to be intimidated, not me. Yeah. Do you understand? So it comes back to the fact that sometimes we do not know what exactly to chunk out. The handler of such blogs do not even decipher if this is just tantrum, if this is just joke. Leave it on their pages. Let people who are their fans see
that we consumed all of our content on husband matter. Today,
what's
the name? Jaruma,
yeah.
was made a dolly.
He wasn't even supposed
like a guinea pig.
He wasn't even
supposed. And later on, what did we hear? She's battling with drugs, this, that, and different stories around her. So it is these people who bring it to the man. You know that you have 6 million followers, and you are feeding them with something that less than 1 million people can resonate with. I mean, it's wrong. It's wrong on all spheres. So sometimes when I think things like all this was they have started again. So I wait with that side.
Content creators. Sorry, my sister. The real ones who are married, who they don't even shout their marriages. They put their children, they have kids, they do content. These people, content drop Roy. They have dropped it this morning.
Right, so what I want to say is that we, for the people putting Vicky James' story and the whole thing on social media, we can't really fault them.
They might have been paid to.
No matter what must have happened, you going to that page, you know what you want. Take responsibility of whatever you're going to see on that page. Does this one suit me? No. Move forward. Does this one suit me? No. Yes. Let me take on to this. If you, like I said in the beginning, if you outline what you want, you know what your aim, goal, and everything you want to achieve. Even if Vicky James shows that, or anybody shows that they are bathing for their husband, you know that that's not what you want to do. You want to do something that is sustainable. In your relationship.
It's a serious
I have two questions for you. First of all, how affordable are your
service charges? Your service charges,
because it has to be affordable so that Nigerians will be able to patronize. Because even this therapy is something we never chop finish before we go start to settle another matter. Do you understand? And I've noticed I've been to one or two, I've seen a therapist before, and I'll have a budget. I'll say, okay, I'm going to spend this amount of money when I'm seeing this thing. Well, most times when I'm talking, you people will allow us to talk. You say, continue, you'll be listening. You say, continue, but our money is going. You say, continue, and then we'll just be like, okay, we'll finish your session. This is, we've spent 1 hour, so we're going to reschedule and all of that. And that's when the budget that I have surpassed. And most times, the problem or whatever it is that made me go to therapy.
You two, you'd have planned
okay, so
going for the session.
So I have budget, and I say maybe I want to do just 3 hours. But they themselves, when they talk, they'll be like, okay, can I know what happened? That's also they will sit down, they will listen. You'll be talking, time will be going.
Yeah,
then the next thing
has come for you. So now what happens is why they ask for those stories is, you know, it's just like you going to a hospital. If you don't do the proper test, they will not be able to say, okay, this is trust issues, it's cognitive, diagnose whatever it is, and be able to tell you that, okay, these are the 5 things I think must have happened. It might be at the end of it when they have the conversation, they're able to know that, okay, maybe you were in secondary school, it was your friend that just punched you, that make you become this.
So you have
so why not just make it like
1 minute?
Why not just make it like 50,000 for your whole?
No.
So for my own package, my own package, we have packages whereby you come one-off. We have intensive whereby you just pay for 2 packages. There's 5 packages depending on what your pocket can afford. Yes, and we also have packages whereby we do group for premarital because of. We know that
can't trust church alone.
Church alone cannot do it and all that, because most times churches, what we do is we go there for attendance because that's part of what the church needs for us to get married. So we do those ones. We do for people that actually want to start dating. I don't want to date this girl for 5 years and I say I don't want to do it again. I want to go straight. As I'm entering, as I'm seeing her, I know that I want to date her, I want to get married to her. So I go for her.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Damilola Erikojo, for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us. One thing is very clear. To each his own. Everybody should maintain their own lane. One of the things I got from you is constant communication in the language your partner understands. So it's not this is the way she said it. You must understand, maybe when my partner would like to listen and I would table my conversation during that time. We, of course, always hope for happy marriages, and because when the family works, the society will be better, which is why we do shows like this, to educate and encourage us to build successful homes. Thank you once again. Thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on the show today. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.